The river Forth, a silver serpent in the morning mist. Autumn, 1297. The air, heavy with dread, carried whispers of war. On the windswept field of Stirling, destiny awaited. Two armies stood poised, a clash of wills about to erupt. The English, a sea of scarlet and steel, confident, arrogant. Their enemy, the Scots, a patchwork of clan colors, outnumbered but not outmatched. They fought for their homes, their families, their freedom. The fate of Scotland trembled in the balance. Leading the Scots, a giant of a man, William Wallace. His eyes, blue as the northern sky, burned with a fierce determination. Beside him, Andrew Moray, a noble with fire in his veins, matched Wallace's resolve. They were the heart and mind of the Scottish resistance, symbols of hope against a seemingly invincible foe. Across the field, the English commander, John de Warenne, Earl of Surrey, paced impatiently. He yearned for a swift victory, a decisive end to this Scottish rebellion. Wallace, a towering figure amidst the chaos, was unstoppable. His claymore, a blur of deadly steel, cut a swath through the English ranks. Men fell before him, their armor no match for his raw power. He was a whirlwind of destruction, his every blow fueled by the dream of freedom. Around him, the Scottish warriors took heart from their leader's example. They fought with the courage of cornered wolves, their fury echoing their leaders. The English, their ranks breaking under the relentless assault, began to give ground. The narrow bridge, once a symbol of their might, now became a death trap. Those who could, retreated, desperate to escape the Scottish onslaught. But the bridge was jammed with men and horses, a tangled mass of bodies and fear. Panic spread like wildfire. Seeing his opportunity, Moray unleashed his own contingent. With a thunderous roar, they slammed into the English flank, adding to the confusion and terror. The English, their ranks in disarray, their formations shattered, could no longer hold. Their advance had turned into a rout. The aftermath of the battle was a scene of carnage. The ground lay littered with the dead, English and Scottish alike. The waters of the Forth ran red with blood, a gruesome testament to the ferocity of the fighting. But amidst the carnage there was joy, a raw, unbridled jubilation. The Scots had triumphed against all odds. They had stared into the face of their enemy and emerged victorious. The air rang with the cheers of the victors, the triumphant skirl of bagpipes echoing across the battlefield. Scottish women, their faces stained with tears, rushed forward to tend to their wounded. The wounded were many, but they were alive. They had fought for their freedom and lived to tell the tale. Wallace, his armor hacked and bloodied, stood amidst his weary but triumphant warriors. He looked out over the battlefield, his face etched with the weariness of battle, but his eyes shone with an inner fire. The victory at Stirling Bridge was but the first step on a long and perilous road. The Battle of Stirling Bridge sent shockwaves throughout the British Isles. Edward I, known as the Hammer of the Scots, was enraged by news of the defeat. He had underestimated these northern rebels and their fierce determination. And now, his wrath would be terrible. Of that, there was no doubt. England, a kingdom accustomed to crushing its enemies, would now seek swift and brutal revenge. The victory at Stirling Bridge had bought the Scots a precious commodity time. Time to regroup, to gather their strength, to prepare for the inevitable English counterattack. Wallace knew that Edward would return, and when he did, he would bring the full might of the English army down upon them. The fight for Scotland's survival had just begun. Across Scotland, men flocked to Wallace's banner, inspired by his victory at Stirling Bridge, eager to strike a blow for freedom. From the Highlands to the Lowlands, the clans united under his leadership, their ancient rivalries forgotten in the face of a common enemy. Victory at Stirling Bridge had come at a cost. Many good men lay dead, their sacrifices etched into the memories of those who survived. The air, still thick with the stench of blood, served as a constant reminder of the price of freedom. Wounded soldiers filled makeshift hospitals, their groans a somber counterpoint to the celebrations. Wallace, ever the pragmatist, knew that their reprieve would be short-lived. He used the time to train his men, to instill in them the discipline and strategy needed to face the English on a larger scale. He knew that the next battle would be even more crucial than Stirling Bridge. The stakes were higher, the consequences of defeat too dire to contemplate. He sent envoys to European courts seeking alliances, pleading for recognition of Scotland's sovereignty. He knew that they could not stand alone against the might of England. They needed allies, powerful friends who could provide the support they desperately needed. Yet, despite the daunting challenges, a glimmer of hope remained. Word of Wallace's victory spread like wildfire, his name whispered in hushed tones throughout Scotland. He became a symbol of hope, a beacon of defiance against English oppression. From the common folk to the landed gentry, his courage inspired them to believe that even against insurmountable odds, freedom was within their grasp. Bards composed songs of the battle, their lyrics recounting the valor of the Scottish warriors and the cunning of their leader. They sang of Wallace's strength, his unwavering determination, his fierce love for his homeland. From the highlands to the lowlands, these songs echoed through the glens and valleys, solidifying Wallace's place in the hearts of his countrymen. He was no longer just a man, but a legend in the making. His name, forever linked with Stirling Bridge, would become synonymous with Scottish resistance. Generations to come would draw inspiration from his story, their own struggles for freedom fueled by the memory of his courage. But legends, Wallace knew, were often built on a foundation of blood and sacrifice. The Battle of Stirling Bridge, though a relatively small engagement in terms of numbers, had far-reaching consequences. It marked a turning point in the Scottish Wars of Independence, proving that the English were not invincible, that their grip on Scotland was not absolute. The victory had a profound impact on the morale of both sides. For the English, it was a humiliating defeat, a stain on their military reputation. It forced them to reconsider their strategy, to acknowledge the tenacity and determination of their Scottish adversaries. No longer would they underestimate the fighting spirit of the Scots. For the Scots, Stirling Bridge was a much-needed victory, a beacon of hope in their struggle for freedom. It galvanized their resistance, unifying the clans under a common banner and inspiring them to fight on against seemingly insurmountable odds. The echoes of that victory would reverberate through the ages, shaping the destiny of a nation. But perhaps the most significant impact of Stirling Bridge was its legacy. Centuries have passed since the Battle of Stirling Bridge, yet its legacy endures. The courage and determination displayed by the Scottish warriors on that fateful day continue to inspire people around the world. It stands as a testament to the indomitable spirit of those who fight for freedom, a reminder that even the smallest of nations can overcome seemingly insurmountable odds. The battle also serves as a reminder of the brutality of war, the human cost of conflict. The blood that soaked the ground at Stirling Bridge, the lives lost on both sides, stand as a stark reminder of the price of freedom. It is a lesson that resonates even today, in a world still grappling with conflict and division. The story of Stirling Bridge is more than just a historical event. It is a timeless tale of courage, defiance, and the enduring human spirit. It is a story that continues to resonate with people of all ages and backgrounds, reminding us that even in the darkest of times, hope and freedom can prevail. The echoes of valor from that fateful day still ring out, urging us to stand up for what we believe in, to fight for what is right, and to never give up hope, no matter how dire the circumstances. The legacy of Stirling Bridge is not just about a single battle, but about the enduring human spirit, the unyielding desire for freedom, and the courage to stand against tyranny, no matter the cost.